Hello everyone today. I'm here to share with you a horror and mystery story. Please keep in mind that this story is purely for entertainment purposes. The events and characters you'll hear about are entirely fictional and have no connection to real-life people or incidents. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the suspense. But always remember that this is just a tale of imagination. If you enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. In an old city of Europe, Vienna, where the echoes of history and the glow of culture were present in every street and corner, there was an ancient and mysterious building known as the Hellgate house. This house was famous for its lost history, eerie sounds, and desolate paths. A young boy named Tom was about to experience a change in his life when his family decided to move into the Hellgate house. In this old part of Vienna, the Hellgate house was a deserted and gloomy building. Once, it had been a residence for the elite, but over time it had fallen into ruin. People said there was something about this house that made them stay away, and many claimed to have seen strange things there. Tom's family decided to buy this mysterious building, and Tom's father, Thomas, a well-known real estate agent in Vienna, saw it as a great investment. Tom had doubts about this decision. "Dad, what have you decided?" Tom said nervously. Thomas smiled and replied, "Son, this isn't just a building, it's a living example of history. There's a lot hidden here. We'll bring it back to life." Tom didn't fully understand his father's words, but he decided to support him. A few days later, Tom and his family moved into the Hellgate house. As soon as Tom stepped into the house, he felt something strange. The building was old, and every room, every wall seemed to tell a different story. The air inside was cold and damp, as if everything there was sighing. Tom felt like someone was following him. When he talked to his parents about it, they said, "Tom, it's just your imagination. This house is old, that's all." But Tom wasn't comforted by their words. At night, he often heard strange sounds. Sometimes it was the sound of a door opening, other times the sound of footsteps, and sometimes even a deep breathing sound. One day, Tom invited his two friends, Emma and Oliver, over to his new house. Emma, who had been Tom's childhood friend, was always looking for new things to explore, while Oliver, who was more scientific in nature, always dismissed such things as jokes. "Tom, does your new house have ghosts?" Emma laughed. Tom said, "I don't know, but this house is really strange. It feels like there's something else here." Oliver grinned and said, "Nothing's happening, buddy. These are just stories. You're scared of old buildings." But one day, Emma found an old book in the house. The book was titled Stories of the Hellgate House. Emma, looking at the book, said, "This book looks very old." When they opened the first page, there was a story that shocked Tom. The story said that mysterious spirits lived in the Hellgate house and trapped those who lived there in their web. These spirits only showed themselves to the people who stayed in the house. "This sounds just like a horror movie," Emma said. Tom looked at the book and said, "This book seems from a very old time, but its content is strange." They tried to read more, but suddenly, a deep sound echoed. It was so terrifying that everyone froze. The sound came from inside the house, as if someone had whispered in their ears. That night, when everyone in the house had gone to sleep, Tom began hearing the sounds again. He thought it was just his imagination, but when he closed his eyes, suddenly a face appeared right in front of him. It was a dark and old face. The face was so close that Tom's heart started racing. Tom quickly closed his eyes and called out to his friends. But when he mentioned the face, no one could see it. Was there really something in the Hellgate house that only Tom could see? Or was it all just a trick of his mind? Tom was beginning to understand that the story of the Hellgate house was not just about an old building. There was something more inside, something that no one seemed to understand. Tom's questions about Hellgate house were growing more and more each day. At night, when he was alone, he started hearing strange sounds. These sounds were so clear that sometimes he wondered if they weren't just his imagination, but the truth. Tom remembered how, when he told Emma and Oliver about these sounds, they made fun of him. They used to say, "It's just a mental thing, nothing's happening." But Tom was sure there was something in the house, something hidden, an old secret that had never been uncovered. One day, as Tom was walking towards the back of Hellgate house, he noticed a small door covered with cobwebs and dirt. It opened to the old garden where the ground was scattered with the fragrance of flowers. He decided he would open the door no matter what. Tom opened the door and stepped inside. The place was strange. The garden behind the house was quiet and desolate. There were leaves scattered under the trees, and in the middle of the ground there was an old pond with murky, dark water. Suddenly, Tom noticed a small house in the center of the garden, and he walked towards the door. Tom stared at the door for a moment before slowly approaching it. As he got closer, he heard a creaking sound from inside, like the noise of a door opening. He peered inside but saw nothing. Is this some other part of the house? Tom wondered. He opened the door and stepped inside. The atmosphere inside was cold and gloomy. There was an old, shining cupboard with some old papers and books inside. One book was covered in dust, but Tom found it very strange. It was so old that the pages were stuck together. The title of the book was The Mysterious Spirits of Hellgate House. Tom opened the book and tried to read it. The first page began like this. The secret of Hellgate House has been hidden for a long time. The spirits that live in this house trap humans in their web and never let them go. Only those who live in this house can see these spirits. These spirits become a part of the life of anyone who steps into this place, and their influence never fades. Reading this, Tom's heart skipped a beat. He immediately closed the book and rushed toward the door. But just as he reached the door, he heard a strange sound. It was a laughing sound, and it was so close that Tom's heart started racing. Tom's heart was pounding in his chest. He opened the door and tried to leave, but his body started to freeze as if something was holding him back. He turned around and saw, in a weakened state, an old figure slowly coming toward him. It was a dark spirit, its eyes filled with anger and hatred. Tom's breath caught in his throat. The spirit was getting closer, and Tom's legs felt like they had turned to stone. The spirit spoke. "Why did you come here?" Tom couldn't speak. Gathering his courage, he said, I just want to know the truth." The spirit, furious, said, "The truth? You can't understand these things. The truth of this house will be too painful for you. You've stepped in, so now something will happen to you that you can't even imagine." Tom, despite his fear, asked, "What do you want from me?" The spirit replied, "We don't need your help, but your fate is now tied to this house. You are a part of it now, and you will have to endure the torment of staying here." Tom's heart raced, and his mind was filled with countless questions. He wanted to know what the spirit was talking about and what secrets were hidden inside this house, secrets that the world had never known. Tom's life was taking a new turn. The mysterious forces of Hellgate House had now revealed themselves to him, and he was ready to uncover its secrets, no matter how many challenges he had to face.